right, TGIF, thank God it's Friday. Welcome to this inaugural first episode of Hip Living, and I'm your host, Stuart Spears. Hip Living, the acronym for that is Healthy, Inspiring, Positive Living, and that's pretty much what the gamut of what I'm going to be discussing on a series of these programs in the following weeks. We're looking at, I guess, 5 to 6 weeks of doing this. And just welcome to the program. You know, it's been a long week, I'm sure, for a lot of you out there. And if you're from out of town, well, welcome to Richmond, Virginia. And if you're from Richmond, Virginia, well, hey, hello. Like I said, I know it's been a hard work week, winding down, going into Friday. And I thought this would be an ideal day to do a program like this, to help you wind down going into the weekend and having a positive, inspirational outlook and a healthy outlook going into the weekend. Now, let me get a little bit into details and what inspired me to do Hip Living. And I think that's very important. I always wanted to do a program on public access. And me being the kind of person I am, I'm always about doing things out in the community, serving in the community. And I've done quite a few things. What brought me to do this was, in fact, my passion and finding my purpose, which is health, personal training, and physical fitness. I'm a fitness enthusiast. Been this way for a long time, going all the way back to high school, as a matter of fact, and I'll be getting into details about that in some of the other programs. But back to the inspiration of Hip Living. What drew me to this was really to deal with the issue of health. Now, get right to it. Without your health, you don't have anything. If there's any issue that's most important than anything, your job, your business, your money, your wealth, believe me, when it comes to your health, everything shuts down. And so I just felt like there was a need, particularly on a local level, to have something to address the issue of health and do it in a very unique kind of spin way. We're going to have a lot of fun. You know, everything's not going to be all serious, but we're going to have a little fun with it. And the one thing I want to do also with this program is I want to invite you. That's right, you out there in the viewing audience and the listening audience. Please feel free to call in and weigh in on some of the topics that we're going to be discussing. I want to hear from you. In fact, because I don't know everything, even though I'm a certified personal trainer and I'm passionate about it, I'm going to have some guests who have expertise in nutrition. They might have a background, for example, yoga, a background in other holistic approaches to healthy and wellness when it comes to healthy living. And for you out there, like I say, in the viewing and listening audience, just feel free to call in if you want to weigh in on the topic, and you can be an inspirational and encouragement to someone, or you just got a question. Please feel free to call in. And so I guess that covers the gamut of what got me to do Hip Living. Okay, now, I'm going to do something, I'm going to get into something that's going to be unique for today's program, because I'm going to have some guests on in the very near future, so it won't just be me today. I'm just going solo, so I'm all right with that. And you're going to have to excuse me if I'm a little bit nervous. You know, I've done this before, and it's kind of funny because I'm thinking about Caramel, probably familiar with this, years ago when I did something like this, and I did a music video program. And looking into that camera, and I'm like a deer in headlights looking into the camera, and I'm kind of like nervous and everything. Still a little nervous, but God, I'm a lot better right now, okay? But let's get right to it. I'm going to do something real special today because, like I said, I am solo, and this is Hip Living. If you're just tuning in, healthy, inspiring, positive living. We're going to be talking about health matters, inspirational, motivational, positive, health-related. So what I want to do today on this program, I'm going to do something special. I'm going to call this pull a topic out of my hat, literally. And so what I did is, I'm not going to look at it. I'm going to mix it up. I got a hat right here, as you can see. I'm not looking at anything. And I'm going to mix it up. I'm going to pull a topic out here. And what I want you out there in the viewing audience to do, I'm going to be talking a little bit, but just feel free to call in and weigh in on the topic. So I'm doing this randomly. I don't know what topic. I got an idea. I got 3 different topics, but I don't know exactly which one I'm going to get into. So what I'm going to do right now, I'm just going to mix it up. Wow. Okay. Well, this one is called Faith and fitness. Faith and fitness. And I do want to do a program on faith and fitness. And I can give you my experience when it comes to faith and fitness. Now, the reason why I want to do this called faith and fitness, because now Jesus is my Lord and Savior. I am a Christian, but I have to be honest with you. When we talk about this faith that I believe in and its association with healthy living, well, we're not doing too well. Yes, there are some examples of people out there that are doing some great things. Don't get me wrong. In fact, I know of some people, and I'm going to have a guest in the future who is doing something with ministry, and this is out of Baltimore, Maryland. If you're doing it in Richmond, that's fine. But we got a little distance to go when it comes to faith and fitness. So what I would like for you, if you're out there in the viewing audience, if you're a member of a church, just feel free to call in and hone in on this topic of faith and fitness. And what can we do better in the church, men and women of faith, particularly when we talk about the Christian community, to take better care of ourselves? Okay? I want you to call in and hone in on that if you want to. Now, let me get into it real quick and what got me there to bring up faith and fitness. Now, as you probably heard earlier, as I did my intro and welcoming, I talked about how for most of my life I've been passionate going all the way back to high school when it came to fitness. Now, my story is basically this when it comes to faith and fitness. And this kind of goes into the black community too, if you know what I'm talking about when I get into this. Now, coming up in the 1970s, for some people maybe in the 1960s when we were young, and you heard the term faith and fitness, and you talked about eating healthy and doing good. Let's be real, it was the black Muslims. It was the Nation of Islam. In fact, and that says a whole lot about the Honorable Elijah Muhammad and the Nation of Islam and the brothers and sisters, and how much of a great job they did in turning a lot of lives around when it came to health and wellness. Now, where I'm going with this is, as I got into the fitness and healthy lifestyle, especially when it came to eating, kind of got away from eating the pork and things like that. And of course, as to be expected, the question was, are you a Muslim? Because I didn't eat pork. And for a while, it got to be a bit irritating. You know, I got tired of people asking me that question because basically I was a Christian. But it was an indictment, actually, on those of us of that faith, in that we weren't aligning faith with being healthy and being fit. Now, as time went on, and not saying that I'm an expert or anything like that, or I'm very much in debt or articulate when it comes to Scripture, but reading the Scripture and picking up on some things and realizing, believe it or not, it's right there in the Bible when it comes to faith and when it comes to fitness. And it was mind-blowing to me, and my whole mindset began to change, and I began to look at things a little bit different. And fast forward to where I am right now, I'm very open, and I'm on a mission right now to do some things with the faith-based community, in fact. So I'm not just up here, you know, trying to indict the church or anything like that. It's more about how we can do better and how we can work together. So I'm hoping to hear from you out there in the viewing audience to weigh in on this, because it's very serious right now. I mean, there are people in my family right now, church-going people, I love them, going through some changes right now, going through some crisis. I'm not going to get into details, but it's very serious. And you know, to go to church and you hear about people that are shut in, and you got to be honest that some of these people that are shut in, let's be honest, we know that a part of that has to do with their lifestyle. And they're not bad people, but they need help and they need encouragement. And if we can do a little bit better, have programs set up in the church, set up in the ministry, it doesn't take a whole lot. It's not complicated. There are a lot of things that ministries can do. And in fact, I'm going to be going somewhere this weekend where a pastor, I'm going to sit down and talk to him about some ideas and some things he's going to be doing in North Carolina. Hopefully, I'll run into him in North Carolina and his church and what they're going to be doing to address this issue of faith and fitness. So the program is HIP Living, Health Inspired Positive Living. And I did what I call pull a topic out of the hat. And the topic that I got out of the hat was faith and fitness. And so if you want to call in and weigh in on that, please feel free. But you know what? I'm going to take a break for a second, and we're going to get into a video in a minute, and Producer's going to cue the video up. Then this group is the elements of the universe: earth, wind, and fire. Here on Hip Living. Hello, and we're back. Name is Stuart Spears, and this is Hip Living, health inspiring, positive living here in Richmond, Virginia, Comcast Studios. And as I pointed out earlier, if you're just tuning in, this is the program, and we're talking about healthy, inspiring, positive living. It's Friday, it's the weekend, and hope everybody so far is having a great weekend. And we got a call. Hello, how you doing?
I'm doing fine. How you doing?
I'm doing good.
What I was talking about, I love Earth, Fire, but I wanted to know, he was the lead singer from Earth, Fire, Maurice White, and I just wanted to know how he's doing, because I know he was sick.
Yes, thank you for that call. Yes, I'm a big fan of Earth, Wind, and Fire too. I know I'm not, so that's good. I'm definitely not by myself, and it's a whole lot of other people. As you probably familiar, I don't know if you're familiar with Maurice having Parkinson's.
Oh, I heard, but I thought he had got a little bit better.
Yeah, he's from what I can see, and let me just say this: I know of some people who have Parkinson's, and it's kind of complicated. And I think in his case, he's kind of close to like Muhammad Ali almost. I'm thinking the last time I saw any video footage of him.
Because I crazy about his brother. His brother that wanted to play the guitar. That dark skin wanted to be deaf and off the stage.
Oh, you talking about Verdine?
Yeah, that's his brother.
Yeah, have you seen it live? Have you seen it perform live?
Yeah, I love Earth, Wind, Fire. I came up listening to Earth, Wind, Fire.
Yeah, they I'm telling you, they don't make groups like that too much. I mean, they, the instruments and everything, the music, and it's got a positive message to it. That's why I put it on the show, because it's like uplifting.
Yeah, almost all the Earth, Wind, Fire songs. And the old groups back in the days, they don't know what they listen when they listen to the whole group.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
And Maurice White was my man, because I loved to hear him sing.
Yeah, he was a great singer. There's a whole lot of history behind Maurice White. I mean, he was just like a part of that generation that, he performed with Ramsey Lewis, from what I understand, before he started Earth, Wind, and Fire. I mean, those guys were just awesome.
Well, I so do miss him from being up there singing.
Okay. Well, all right. Well, appreciate you calling, and please stay tuned. And if you want to call in and ask any other questions in the future, please feel free to do so. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you.
All right, and as you probably saw, we had the video of Earth, Wind, and Fire, the elements of the universe, and that definitely falls on the part of when I talk about positive living. And I'm going to tell you something that's interesting about this Earth, Wind, and Fire that I think, wait a minute, we got a call real quick, and I'm going to get back to that. Okay, caller, how you doing?
Yes. How you doing?
I'm doing well. How about you?
I'm doing wonderful.
Glad to hear that.
I see that your show is on, and you're talking about fitness, and I think it's a great thing.
Thank you.
And I wanted to just make a comment in regards to your faith and fitness, because I think that is important, especially in the Black church community.
Yes.
As a minister myself,
okay,
I am getting more and more into working out and being consistent, just for my health, but not just health wise, but also I feel there's a scripture that says, I wish above all things you be you be in good health.
Yes. Even
as your soul prospers. So I just feel that, if I'm spiritually ministering to people and I'm doing, outreach into the community, outreaching in my faith community, I want to be healthy as well. I want to be fit as well.
Yes.
With the exertion on your body and the things that you do to reach people. I want to be physically fit as well. And I think this is a great thing that you're talking about with faith and fitness, because by me, I'm getting into it more. I'm being more consistent with it. I'm making healthier choices with eating, learning how to eat cleaner. And sometimes I like to post, sometimes on social media. Right. What I'm finding about that is, if it's a spiritual thing, or, I put something regarding church or just, ministry, I get a lot of hits. I get a lot of likes and people comment. But I noticed that with this fitness and this health.
That's true.
Not a lot of my sisters and brothers in Christ are saying a whole lot about it.
Yeah.
That's because, I feel that we have to have that balance with doing the health and the wellness piece. Come on, let's be real about it. You're talking about, growing up.
Right.
Not just the pork. We do. What do we do when we finish on Sunday morning? We go to the buffet.
There you go. I can say
like a lot of grease.
Right.
Like a lot of old, like a fried, laid, just in flour, butter. We like bread.
Right.
So I think if we teach more on making healthier choices, drinking more water, because we like Pepsis and sodas and cakes, pies. But if we just teach. You're not being real. If we just
you are. No doubt.
About it and be real and just,
Right.
Because too many preachers I know are dying to diabetes, sugar, high blood pressure, amputations, and just, overweight. And you're ministering and you're hooping, and you can't keep your hoop because you winded, So I think this is a good thing that you're doing, and I'm glad you bring that out. But my question is, because I heard you talk about North Carolina, I heard you talk about Baltimore. My brother, what are you going to do to reach Richmond, Virginia? That's what we want to know, because we need it. Churches, we need health and wellness classes. We need a fitness class. What are you going to do to reach us?
Okay, let me say this now. I'm in Richmond. And so maybe after the show you can call back up to the studio and we can get into details, because I'm very serious about working with the faith community. Because let's be honest, when we talk about an institution and black people and really being organized, there's a history where the church has done great things. It's just a matter of getting us back there. And to have ministers like you is an inspiration, and we just need more. And I'm really appreciative of you calling in and sharing that, because that's what we need more of. Definitely. So appreciate you calling, and like I said, if feel free to call back up to the studio, because I'm very serious about working with ministries in the Richmond area, and we can do that.
Okay, thank you for your time, and I appreciate it.
Okay, thank you. All right.
Bye-bye.
Yes, as the caller just pointed out, and we're talking about faith and fitness, by the way, if you're just tuning in. This is Hip Living, and we're discussing health, inspirational, positive living, and the topic that I call pulling out of the hat today was faith and fitness. Now, the caller said something that I thought was very interesting, because she mentioned something about balance, because the reality, and she said keeping it real, it really does come down to balance, because in the real world where we are right now when it comes to eating, and I'm sympathetic, but out of love. I love you to life. I use the term love you to life, and I love you to death. Love you to life, where I'm coming from is we have to do a whole lot better in getting to that balance. And she made a good point when she talked about the balance and making choices and making decisions. And there are a lot of different things that we can do to do better. It's going to take time, but you got to be in there. You got to hang in there. And she made a good point. So the discussion was faith and fitness, and how we, those of us in Christ, can do better when it comes to our fitness. She also said something else that I thought was very interesting too, and I've experienced this also. She mentioned something about social media. Now, I did something too a while back on Facebook, and I have a Facebook page. You can check it out, Stuart Spears Facebook, or you can check out Team Hip Living, which is also my Facebook page pertaining to Hip Living and Wellness LLC, which is the name of my company. And I basically put it out there, and I said, well, if there are any churches or any ministries that are interested in getting together and hooking up and doing something, reaching out to the community, it was like crickets. But as she pointed out, and this, don't get me wrong, it's okay to inspire people and quote scriptures and things. When you do that, you get a whole lot of people. But for some reason, when you talk about being healthy and bringing the church in, you get people that are not so. So I'm optimistic, though. I'm very optimistic, and she definitely, her and the brother from Baltimore, Maryland, and a few other people are definitely keeping me optimistic. And as a pastor in North Carolina, I kind of like giving him a shout out in North Carolina. In Rocky Mount, I'm going to be there tomorrow. He is someone that I'm also getting some encouragement from in the faith community. He's a pastor, and he's really serious about making some things happen. So don't get me wrong. Things are happening. What I want to do with this program, however, is the more we get people like the caller to call in, and it's something about us when we see other people doing it, we may be a little bit hesitant. We sort of like jump on the bandwagon. If that's what's necessary, then fine. The more people we have like the caller, the more people we have like the pastor that I just mentioned from North Carolina, we can really make this happen in the faith community. And so, like I said, feel free to call in and weigh in on this topic. This is Hip Living, and we were talking about faith and fitness and wellness. Another thing that I've also noticed, there's a particular church that I want to mention, and I'm probably going to mention it in the future. There is a church that is doing something that's a little bit related to wellness, and what this church is doing, and it's located over the south side. I got a coworker, in fact, that's a member of that church. I don't know the name of the church. I think the pastor is Pastor Sweat, his name is. It's the Methodist Church over south side, and I think it's on Porter Street. They're doing something interesting, and I think is very positive along the lines of health and wellness, and they have a garden, which is a good idea, and I'm putting that out there for some of the ministries, some of the churches. We got a lot of churches out there. And there's a lot of churches out there. You got a little space out there. Some churches are big. And, you got that big lawn. Well, why not grow a garden? Why not grow a garden? It'd be a good idea for some mentoring, get some of the young people involved. And this is something that this church is doing. And they got a community garden. Some of the church members, they get the vegetables and some of the fruits like cantaloupes and watermelons and so on. And they have some of the people in the community to come by there and get those vegetables, and some of the church members also have, access to that. And so that's a good thing. That's a step in the right direction, putting that idea out there. That's something we can do right here in the city. Urban farming is a big thing. I notice in a lot of the northern states, and it's catching on a little bit in the Richmond, Virginia area. So there's a lot of green space in a Harvard city. Grow a community garden. It's cheap. It doesn't cost a whole lot of money. You can get those vegetables and preserve them or freeze them, and you have them to carry you through the winter time. And that's a route we do need to take right now. And again, that's something that the faith community, some people in the faith community are doing. If you're an organization out there that's already doing that, and again, contact me. Maybe I have you on some future programs, and we can talk about urban gardening, and you can give people some ideas and some things that you have done to create your urban garden that can help people out, whether it's the church or whether it's a nonprofit organization or so on, or just somebody to live in the city and, have some property or whatever. And so just feel free to contact me, and you can reach me. I don't know whether my number is posted or not, but just feel free, you can call into the program. And in the very near future, I'll give you the information on how you can contact me. Hit me up on Facebook. Also, you can do that. So, Stuart Spears here at Hip Living, first inaugural broadcast. I'm going to do something real quick, and this is a tip. Now, I believe in this religiously. I'm going to take a little moment here to give you a tip right now, because I notice people ask me a lot of questions when it comes to nutrition. Now, the tip for this week is going to be this. Whenever someone asks me a question about what they can do better when it comes to nutrition, what they can do as far as eating, because the previous caller talked about the eating part, and she did mention water, and I'm glad she mentioned it. And if you were tuning in earlier, you notice I held this up. Now, this is very, very important, because basically water is life. I mean, bottom line, cut and dry, when you talk about water. And before you can even talk about what to eat, the first question I always ask people, even if they're not feeling good, I ask them, well, are you drinking water? You want to lose weight? I still want to know, are you drinking water? Diabetes, I don't care what it is. Are you drinking water? Why? Because water really is life. I mean, that's why whenever you see people, whenever the people go into space organizations, they want to go into space and they want to study another planet, what do they look for? They look for water. because that is what sustains life. Now, as far as the human being is concerned, somewhere around the neighborhood, I think it's 78% of our body is made up of water, which basically means whether it's our bones, our muscles, our organs, blood, and so on, it is water. Now, not just any water. It's good to have water that, of course, is clean, whether it's purified water, and in that case, I highly recommend you purify your own water. And this is what I have right here. I purify this myself. The funny thing about this, though, is when I go to work, I got to throw a little bit of comment in. It's kind of funny. When people see me with this, it looked like one of those, back in the day, moonshine, Everclear. And in fact, one time I left it at work, and someone came across and they knew it was me because I was the only one walking around with this big Everclear-like bottle. But to make a long story short, though, yeah, purified water, you can purify it yourself. You can go to Walgreens or Walmart. They have their own filtration system. You can hook it up. You can hook it up to your faucet at home, or you can get one of those 1-gallon jugs that already has the filter at the top. You're basically pouring from your faucet. You pour into there. I wish I had one that I could show you right now. And the water filters into the compartment, and you can pour it into a jug like this. And again, it's very important to make sure you're getting that water in your system. In fact, the first thing you need to do in the morning when you wake up is to drink you some water, at least an 8-ounce glass of water. Water you don't have to digest. And what's happening is you're replenishing your system. That water is going through your system, going through your digestive system and everywhere else. And it acts almost like a detox. So in addition to the foods that you're eating and other things you're eating, the juicing and everything can help detox your system. The first thing you need to have is water, alkaline. To add that into it, you can put some lemon into it. Purified water, spring water. Spring water is really the best bet. Purified water, your own purified water, is a good thing to do. So, here we are, Hip Living. It's Friday. And I hope everybody is enjoying this Friday. The weather's been kind of so-so. Been kind of hot, been up way up in the 90-degree range, which brings me to another fitness tip. Because it is pretty inclement and it's hot. And I know for some people, you want to go outside and you want to work out and everything. And so my recommendations is in this inclement weather, around this time of the evening, it'd be a good idea to go out, and work out during the late time of the evening because it's not as hot or in the early mornings. But you know what? We're going to go ahead and get into another EWF, Earth, Wind, Fire video here on Health Inspiring Positive Living. Hey, we are back. If you're just tuning in, this is Hip Living, Health Inspiring Positive Living. I'm your host, Stuart Spears. Well, the topic for today is faith and fitness. It is faith and fitness. And had a very interesting call previously, and just been thinking about some things, some conversations that I've been having with people about faith and fitness. And some interesting things were brought up and was brought to my attention, and I was thinking back, I was talking to someone about this. And just getting into, some of the areas that when we go to church that they cover regarding sin. And somebody once pointed out to me that one of the sins that's not really discussed that much is called gluttony. Meaning, believe it or not, eating too much and not eating the right thing can also fall in line as a sin. I know that's a thin subject for some people. We got to be real. And, when we talk about faith, we got to be real and we got to be honest. And so that's something we need to think about. You know what else someone pointed out to me too, what was interesting when they say that the first sin took place had something to do with eating. And we've been dying ever since. You think about the story of Adam and Eve. Adam ate something, and we've been dying ever since. So it makes you think that, when we talk about food, then obviously there's something to that. So let's do better when it comes to that. And I'm encouraging a lot of you to bring this up and talk more and more about it. Really think about it. Take the baby steps. You got to do what you got to do. Loving you to life. And I'm hoping that we can continue to have this discussion and move on and really get better when it comes to the faith community right now. Particularly when I keep saying the faith community, I'm really talking about the church and those of us in the Christian community. So I probably should have, instead of saying faith and fitness, I should have said being a Christian and being fit. Because like I said earlier, if you were tuning in, if you didn't, I brought up my own experience as far as the black community. The people that had the reputation for being the most healthiest were our brothers and sisters who were Muslims. And when it came to faith and fitness in general, my first exposure was, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, How to Eat to Live. And what I find that was mind-blowing is that later on, what we're dealing with right now, Elijah Muhammad been talking about that. But things have gotten a little bit better, can get much better when we talk about faith and fitness. So, hey, got to do better, need to do better. I'm going to give you a couple of tips also on some things that you can do to do better. Now, here's a couple of things that I want to point out. And I'm going to be working with some ministries on this and trying to do better. Okay, when it comes to working out, this is the thing I would encourage the pastors to do with many of the people in your flock. Some of those days when you have some time or anything like that, you need to tap somebody in your church that is a health enthusiast. And there are some people sometimes in those churches that are looking for something to do. It's not all about just the choir. It's not all about just, the youth thing. That's all good. But I'm sure there's some people, you need to tap some of those people and put those people to work to get some people out there, get them to exercise and everything. And you got to be honest also about that. So those are just a few things that we can do to do better when it comes to faith and fitness and really getting our churches in line to be a lot healthier. Another thing you can do when y'all be having those get-togethers, those cookouts and things like that, hey, go ahead and put that fruit tray in there or that vegetable tray on. And I know for black people, we like our soul food, so I understand that too. So that sounds a little bit crazy when you talk about a vegetable tray. But believe it or not, there are always alternatives. There are people out there that are doing what is called the vegan soul. There's healthy soul. Do some research. You're on social networking, so get out there, do some research, reach out to some people, get some ideas, get some things going. I mentioned the community gardens. We definitely need to be working on that. If you look at when we talk about the food deserts, and there we refer to the inner city and urban communities, because when it comes to having access to healthier foods, it's not that easy in a lot of our inner city communities, but we can do better. So we can basically address the food desert issue by building and developing these community gardens. So that's one of the things we can also do to improve.